Hello, happy Monday. Just trying to get myself organized here. Whew, what a mess. Hope everybody's doing good. Welcome back to Monday. And as you know, tonight is our mystery card. And I do it a little different where I actually create as I'm giving you the clues so we can have fun together. Okay, I'm just getting my card base together. So, if you are a part of the group, my mystery card group, you know the first set of clues was posted on Saturday. And the reason I posted them Saturday is because I thought it was Sunday. I don't know what happened. I lost a day somehow, and I posted them early. Hey, do. But that's okay. So let's go through the first clue. I asked you to cut a piece of basic white cardstock, 8.5 by 5.5, and scored at 4 1/4. And that is our basic card base. If you wanted to use a different color, that would be perfectly fine. Hey, Mimi. I know it's been one of those weekends. And then I wanted you to cut a piece of colored cardstock, 5 1/4 by 4. Now I chose boho blue for my layer. And if you know me, hey Mags, um, if you know me, I like lots of layers. And this card honestly doesn't have that many layers. Then your next part of the clue was to pick a different colored cardstock measuring 4 by 2. So I chose Misty Moonlight. And the lighting just does not do the colors justice. Let me try another light here. All right. So we have some Misty Moonlight, 2 by 4. Then I asked you to get some scraps of basic white cardstock, dies or punches. Hey Sheila, hey Karen, and your paper trimmer, of course, because I always make a mistake. So I want you to have your paper trimmer. So just in case you need to cut something that I forgot, we need our paper snips or scissors, a stamp set with images and greetings, some ink, coloring tools if you need them, an embossing folder or two, of course, a die cutting machine, and some adhesive. And you can use liquid glue. I would recommend seal for the inside of the card so we don't see that glue bleed through on the basic white. All right. So, what are we going to do first? We're going to grab that 5 1/4 by 4, and we're going to run it through the cut and emboss machine with our favorite embossing folder. Now, usually I choose Time Worn Type because that's my favorite, but tonight I decided to grab a embossing folder that is retired, but it was one of my favorites, and that was the Subtle embossing folder. Okay, so here's my 5 1/4 by 4. I already ran it through, excuse me, my cut and emboss machine. Okay, now we're going to take this emboss layer and we're going to add it to the front of our card. I like to use liquid glue on my embossed layers. This way we don't crush it in any way. This folder doesn't really have a right or a wrong, so you can add it to the front of your card This is about 1/4 of an inch smaller. So we want to get this on the front of the card as centered as possible. Okay. Clue 3. That was clue 3. So now clue 4. We're going to grab our 4x2 piece of paper. And I want to create a banner with this. I do happen to have the banner punch. Okay. If you don't have a banner punch, no worries. We know it's 2 inches wide because that's what I told you to cut it. So what I would do if you didn't have a banner punch, I would line up my ruler, mark it at 1 inch. And you may want to just bring a line up at 1 inch. And then you would take your scissors and from one corner, cut from one corner to that line, and then from this corner to that line. And you'll get the same thing as if you were using the banner punch. I'm going to just put this in here and give it a cut. Okay? So again, let's just put this in here. The banner punch actually cuts off part of your corner, but it's the same idea as cutting it with your scissors. Here's your 1 inch line. You can start from this corner and cut, and this corner and cut, and then you'll create a banner. Okay, that's the easiest way to create your banner. Now we're going to emboss this layer also. And I actually have to do it while we're talking. And I did say to emboss it with the same embossing folder that you used for this layer. But I'm going to actually go rogue and switch it up. And I'm going to grab that fern embossing folder. You'll notice on our folders we have a straight line here. That is where you're going to line up your piece of paper. It's important if the design needs to be straight. Okay, so you're going to line up right at the edge. This is the right side of your embossing folder where that symbol is. This is the right side of your folder. So let's just run this through quick. And you'll see why I'm using fern or leaves for this layer in 1 second. All right, so it was laid out like this. I said this was the right side of our folder where this label is. So this is the right side of the embossed layer. And you'll notice that it is different. Okay? You can see that's the wrong side. That is the correct side. So now we have our 4x2 layer and it is embossed. Now we're going to add this banner to the front of the card. And we want it so the tail is closer to the bottom than it is to the top. Okay? And you can either adhere it with glue or you can pop it up onto the front of your card. Thanks, Stu. Cute, right? And I think I'm going to adhere it. So I'm going to grab some glue. And I'll show you why my next piece I am going to pop up. So far, pretty simple, right? So we're just going to adhere this to the front of the card. Make sure it's down really nice. So far, so good, right? Now, I want you to stamp your image on your basic white scrap. We're going to color it in if we need it. And then you're going to cut it out, fussy cut it, die cut it. Now, what I'm going to do, I decided to use some new product. And the set I'm using is Circled Sayings. And you'll notice that everything is either arched, the words are circles or arched. Then we have some images. This set comes with a 2 3/8 circle punch. Love circle punches. They're just so easy, right? So what I decided to do is I punched out my circle. I'm just going to grab a piece of foam and a piece of scrap paper, and I'm going to use this as my scrap. I've already cut it because I want to make sure that I line everything up and that it will be right where it's supposed to be. Okay? I decided to use boho blue. And I am going to first grab a spoon. I'm just going to push some of that ink off to the side. It's a brand new stamp set pad. I have not yet used it. And as we all know, the ink pads are very moist. Just want to clean off that spoon. All right. So I like to move some of the ink out of the way so I get a nice clean stamp. So let's ink this up. I want to test it and I want to see what it looks like first. Okay, that's nice. So let's ink it up, and I'm going to have to stand up because I want this on the bottom of my circle. And I want to make sure it's lined up. So before my video, there we go. We've been watching the Letitia Stausch murder trial, and they actually came to a verdict. So that's what we were watching before this. All right. So here is the stamp of the flowers. Okay. If you can see, there are little tiny leaves in here. So I'm actually going to grab some old olive. And I'm not going to be fussy. I'm just going to quick color in these leaves just to give it a little bit of color. We're not doing anything crazy. Just like that. Quick and easy. Just little tiny areas. All right. So I added a bit of green. Yeah, it is a really pretty color, the boho. It goes perfectly with the Countryside Corners, where everybody knows that seems to be my favorite. All right, now I'm going to add the sentiment Thinking of You, and I'm actually going to keep it in boho. Let's just look to see. That looks pretty good. And I'm going to add that to the top. And I'm going to get it as close to the edge as I can. I always get nervous when it comes to my sentiment because, as everybody knows, I usually make a mistake. Okay, so thinking of you, and then I'm going to add today. Now for the today, I am going to add it in Misty Moonlight. I'm just going to pick that back up. Now, like I said, this layer is Boho Blue. This layer is the Misty Moonlight. So I'm going to ink it. Yes, very nice. And we're going to put this right here in the center. Quick and easy, right? All right, so that is our scrap, or that is my scrap. So if you've stamped something that needed to be fussy cut, yeah, isn't it very pretty, right? Just very plain. If you need something to fussy cut or die cut or punch out, now would be the time. And I would either die cut a circle or a rectangle or a square, because what we're going to do now for clue 7, like I said, depending on the size of the image you stamped and cut in clue 6, make a circle or a square using some basic white scrap a little bit bigger so you can add the image. So I already cut my circle, and this is what I am going to use. Now, if I would have, let's pull in yesterday's card. If I would have stamped my image, I would have used either a square die or this one. How did I cut this one? 2 7/8 by 2 7/8. This would be for the front of my card right now. So you don't have to use a circle. You can use a square, okay? And you make it the way you want. This is your card. I'm just giving you some suggestions. And you can go rogue, okay? Now that we have our image and we've decided on either a circle or a square or a rectangle, we want a mat for this. And what do I mean by a mat? We want something of a different color to line the back of this layer. And we'll pull in yesterday's card again. So here's my basic white layer. I put a mat of early espresso. So it just frames that image. Okay? So what I did was I grabbed some Misty Moonlight, my favorite color, and I die cut a scallop circle, which I believe is retired, but I'm going to continue to use it. And this is 2.5 inches. So the punch was 2 3/8. I used a 2.5 inch circle. And that is going to be my mat. You can make it 1/8 of an inch or 1/4 of an inch larger than this square, circle, or rectangle for your image. Okay? So now, whatever you decided to create, we want to add this to our piece or our mat. And what I'm going to do is I am going to add some seal because the glue seems to show through sometimes. So I'll just add some seal. Let me get some over on this side. There we go. And so it doesn't stick right away and I won't see the glue, I'm going to add a bit of glue to the seal so it does not stick down to that circle and then get stuck. This way I have a little bit of wiggle room because it's not going to completely adhere. Okay, so we're just going to lay this down. I can move it over. See where I added that glue, it just gives me a little bit of a chance to get that down, and then we don't see that glue through that layer. So that was clue number 9. We added our circle to our mat, or you can add your square to your mat. We're going to pull in our card and we're going to pop this up onto the front of the card. I'm just going to add some dimensionals. Let's pull these papers off. So is it warm where everybody is today? It's 74 here today. Very warm. All right. So now we're going to center this on top of our banner. You can put it up high or pull it down so you see the top of the banner. It does not matter. I am going to add mine so we can see the top of that banner. And make sure that today is straight. Easy peasy, right? Now, I didn't even pick out, believe it or not, I did not pick out any ribbon. For shame. Let's see if we can do it with this. Here's some boho blue, new ribbon in the catalog. I have to say, it is beautiful ribbon, but it is a little tough when it comes to creating and tying our bow. So I'm just going to cut a length. It's very, very stiff ribbon. It's beautiful, but it doesn't create a good knot. At least it didn't when I used the other one the other day. Yeah, see, it's very, very, it leaves a very large knot in the center, which I don't really care for, especially if you want a very delicate ribbon. So I am going to pull this loop, and then I'm going to pull that little tail to make a smaller ribbon. Let's just get these. And cut the tails. All right. So we have our image. We just popped it up, or you can adhere it to the front of the card if you want to keep it flat. Very nice there. Where are you, Mimi Cakes? My sentiment is in my circle. If you have just an image here, you may want to stamp your sentiment separately and add it to the front, or wait and put it on the inside of your card. Okay, mine's here on the front. All right. So here is my bow. I'm actually going to add a bow to the front of my card. And I'm going to actually put it right here. And I'm going to use 2 My glue dots are very sticky tonight because it is warm in here. So I'm going to use 2. It's a very heavy ribbon. So I'm going to add it right there. Puff it up. And then I'm going to grab some blue adhesive backed gems. And to be honest, I don't know if these are even in the catalog. I don't think they are. And I'm going to add 2 to that corner right there. Yes, it is the ribbon you asked about, Do. It is very tough to create ribbons, bows with. And then I'm going to add 2 right here on the bottom. All right, so we have 2 here and 2 here. And that is a nice, quick, and easy card. Now, I like to do the inside of my card. So if you want ribbon and embellishments, feel free to add them. Now, I'm going to use this, I don't know. I don't have anything that would look too funny. Maybe I'll put it in a corner. And I will do it in the boho blue again. I'm just going to pull that image from the front, and I'm going to put it right here in this corner. You can tell that this is new because look how dark that is. It'll dry light. And let's just add some green to these leaves. And we'll pull in our matte layer. Now this is extra. I did not add this to your first glue, but this is 5 1/4 by 4. This is 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. And again, I do not like adding my basic white layer with adhesive or liquid glue because you can see through. So I use the seal. We have to be very careful. All right, let's grab our card. And we're gonna, now we can adhere this to the inside. All right. Where did my glue go? Here it is. I got 4 different glues. Oh, there we go. I guess it's time to clean out the glues. And let's just add this to the center of the card. And there we go. There is my mystery card. Quick and easy. Now, for everybody, for anyone who is new, what I want you to do is, I'm just looking to see, I thought I took out this week's prize. What I want you to do is, I will post the rest of the clues in the group, and I will create a blog post for the card. If you, thank you so much, if you create your very own mystery card and post it in the group by Friday evening, I will pick a winner. And this week I will be giving away, let's see what I have here. A half a pack of the favored flowers. It's still in the wrap, so you'll get half a pack of the Favored Flowers Designer Series paper. All right? I will pick a name randomly. I use random.org. I will assign everybody a number as they post their card, and I will randomly pick someone to win a half a pack of Designer Series paper. All you have to do is create the card and post it. That's all you have to do. So thank you for joining me tonight. I hope you had a good time, and I hope you had a chance to at least get your cardstock together. And I hope to see your card in the group by Friday. Today is Monday. I will see everybody Thursday night. Not sure what we're going to be creating, but I'll see you Thursday night for our other live video. Thanks so much for joining me. Have a great night and keep cool. Bye-bye.